Alright, it's time to make one of my favorite things in the world, gyoza. And I learned to make these even before I knew they were called gyoza. Back then I just called them Chinese dumplings, but now I know the proper name. In Japan that's kabetsu, I think, if my memory serves me. Okay, now we need to make this small, so, okay, that's pretty good. Okay, let's scoop that into the bowl. Don't have to be careful with it. If you're too careful, it takes too long. Alright, so we've done it. We've got a big bowl of cabbage, so we're going to boil that. And let me get some water boiling. Get this cooking. Alright, now while that's heating up, let's chop the onions. I can do it in one mighty chop. There we go. And I'm under pressure, so being filmed, but I'm going to do some good chopping. Alright, I decided I want these onions a little bit smaller, so I'm going to use a chopping technique. I don't know if anybody else in the world does this, but I just sort of hold the end of the knife, and then with the other end, come down and sort of, I try not to do that. But basically, there we go, making these nice and small. Alright, so let's put those in the bowl and we'll be ready for our next step. I've got some chicken breasts, and maybe I'll cut it up a little bit just to make it sort of a good size to fit in there. You know, the size of your, what's something that's that size? The size of a big, a size of this, that's how big you want. And here's, it's going to be exciting, we get to make a noise. I'm going to put it on chop. Oh, oh. There we go. And let's put this in this bowl here. Alright, the water's boiling. Time to boil the cabbage. There it is, a healthy boil. Carefully put it in here so you don't splash yourself with boiling water. And how long should we boil this? I mean, as you watch it, it turns like a sort of a more intense shade of green. It's green tinted 60s cabbage. In the meantime, I've got to be able to drain it, so I need something to drain this with. And I'm going to use, alright, now keep in mind, this is not, it's not a calendar, it's a colander. It took me years to figure that out. There's actually two different words. And let's see, for that amount of chicken, maybe, yeah, that's good. I'll do about that much. I don't really measure. I just sort of do it until I go like, well, looks delicious. I'll do that. I can add more later if I need to. All right, I think we're ready. The 2 minutes have passed. Careful not to spill the boiling water all over yourself. And woohoo! And it goes. Drained cabbage. Oh, very nice. Now I want to squeeze the water out of this. And there's a couple ways to do it. And I think, how am I going to do that? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to invent a new way just to see if this works. Because sometimes you can actually squeeze it in a towel, which I may end up doing that. But in the meantime, you may scowl like, oh my God, he used those gloves to wash dirty things. But don't tell anybody. I'll wash these off first, make sure they're clean, and then I'm just going to squeeze that down. Let's see if my new invention works. So we'll make sure that my gloves are just as clean as anyone has. We'll even use a little soap. Squeeze all that water out. Ooh, that is a little hot. I want to cool down a little bit. I can even cool down this way. There we go. But it's fun. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Check that out. We've got, that one used to be one giant head of cabbage, and now it's relatively small. And we have to decide how much to use. So let's take a look at our bowl. I'm going to use probably about maybe the same amount or a little less than the chicken. Some fresh ground pepper. Put that in. And maybe a little sesame oil. A little bit. And maybe some soy sauce. Again, I can't read it, but that's soy sauce. A little bit. Okay, let's mix this up and see how it turns out. Oh, looking good. There's going to be some good gyoza or wonton. All right, we're ready to wrap the gyoza. Okay, are you ready? This is the exciting part. You take the wonton. Okay, you might want to get close up to the hand here. So you put it in your hand. You take about that much filling, and then you take your washed finger, make sure that's all cornstarch all mixed up in there, and you do 2 sides. Then you fold over the other sides to connect. So you got sort of a little triangle. And then you do the front of this side and the back of this side. Pull down and connect them. And there you have a nice little boat-shaped gyoza. All right, so we've got a nice plate of gyoza ready to go. And somebody heat up the pan. And I usually put the oil in first. And I'm not going to deep fry it, I'm just going to pan fry it, but I'm still going to use a little bit of olive oil. I don't know if that's the best one, but it's the one I've got around. And I'm going to kind of use a lot. That should be good. Just enough to cover up the whole bottom. Maybe that's more than I need, but we'll turn it on. And I don't know if that means anything, but I usually put my flame on 3. You know, if you've got a Marshall lamp, you want to put it on 11, but for my flame, I put it on 3. And now you have to wait for it to get hot. And I actually heat it up a little bit in advance, but the way I can tell it's hot is when the oil starts to kind of move on its own. So I'm going to sit here and watch the oil. We've got nice hot oil, and I'm going to put these in here one at a time. Oh, I can see the oil get nice and bubbly. There we go. So they're going to get a little brown, but I want to get them even, so I'm going to move them around a little bit. Oh, they're cooking well already. Well, Hashi, you're so good for cooking. I don't know, whatever I did without these. Even amount of golden brownness. Oh, it's starting to look good. The oil gets around evenly. Okay, almost ready for the steaming. And then get it ready and go, woohoo! And that's going to steam the gyoza. It's going to cook all the way through. And it's just sort of exciting. It makes a loud noise, and that's it's the explosive part of our gyoza cooking. And I don't know exactly. It's talking to me. I don't know exactly how long to let it go. Maybe another 30 seconds or a minute, just to make sure it's cooked all the way through. And it's hot in there. There's a lot of steam floating around. All right, I'm feeling good about this now. Turn my heat off. Get some protection. Slowly, I'm going to open it up away from me, because if I lift it this way, all the steam's going to come to my face. I'm going to put it this way. Some of the water from the lid dripped down. There we go. Oh, this is great. Special Gilbert family style. Okay, it's time to make some sauce, and I'm just going to guess at how much to use of each thing. But I think I'm going to begin with the shoyu, soy sauce. A little bit in there. Oh my gyoza. A little bit of vinegar. Now this is a big bottle, so I'm going to be very careful. I like vinegar, but a little more. There we go. And some ryu. A little bit of spice. Okay, there's some nice sauce. We'll bring it over to our table. Itadakimasu. And let's see, they all look good, but I'm going to pick my favorite one. Out of all these gyoza, my absolute favorite. They look good. I think I'm going to have, which one is the most golden brown? There we go. So here's the gyoza, ready to go. I think it's cooled down enough where I can eat it without burning my tongue off. I'll dip it in the sauce. And here we go. Itadakimasu. What did you eat? Well, there you have it. Some delicious gyoza. And, skoshi karai. I put a lot of value in there. But I like that. Wash it down with some water. So, everybody's got their own method. That's mine. That's the Gilbert family method of making gyoza. And try it at home. And when you're done, rubber gloves to clean it up. Keep your calluses ready for some vibrato. All right. Thank you.